What's up, everybody? Got a little after the fact intro for you. Unfortunately, the intro we had during stream for this Jun Shadow League had a big blue box over the left half or the right half of the screen, which will show up for about the first 45 seconds of the video before we get it fixed. So just keep in mind whenever you start the first match that will go away after like 45 seconds. Anyway, we've been really working on this Jun Shadow list, preparing for the Hunter Burton Memorial event in Texas. That'll be next weekend. I'll be in Texas playing in that. And Jun Shadow is very high up on my list of decks that I'm considering running. Effectively, you are an aggressive tempo style deck that's utilizing Street Wraith, Mishra's Bauble, Unholy Heat, Traverse to get card types in the yard to grow Nethergoyf, get Delirium online for Traverse the Ulvenwald, to be able to find the combination of like Death Shadow and Abigail or a big threat, Teamer Battle Rage, whatever the case may be, and close out the game with those cards. The main deck is aiming to be very aggressive, very put your opponent on the back foot, use some very efficient removal and interaction to get them a little off base and attack through. The sideboard, we've got some Meltdowns for Affinity, Magus of the Moon for the big mana, Pyroclasm, Magebane Lizard, 3 Damping Spheres for like Tron and Storm, Amulet Titan, stuff like that, 2 Vexing Bauble, Nihil Spellbomb, 3 Obsidian Charmal. So without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and get into the first match, and y'all can see the deck in some action.
Today. We've got a turn 2 Shadow and then never miss a land drop. Ruin Crab, Ruin Crab. Kitsune. So we need to find an answer to this crab, like yesterday. This isn't like a popular thing people are trying, is it? I know I've seen Zeriok stream it and someone else streamed it. I guess the background got moved. For whatever reason, sometimes when Streamlabs starts up, it like moves the background little block around. I have no idea why. Here's a shadow. Kind of just going to be setting up or trying to set up a one-shot kill with the shadow. Now that we've got Battle Rage. I will block. I will block all day. It's not bad. Kind of feel like I'd be okay if they archive trap me here. Just gonna ping myself, go for the extra damage. Get in there with Shadow. Get him with Shadow, get Nethergoyf down. Hope our opponent doesn't mill us out next turn. I'll answer your question. Its cheeks needs blue. Does it though? Like I would love to go 4-color instead of Jund, but CKG coming in with the 9-month resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the subscribers. Enjoy continued access to all of our sweet emotes. Let us what do I want to do? Keep submitting non-blue decks. You might be losing my sub though. That's fair. I'll give you that one. I could get Abigail up a Shadow, make that lethal by itself, but I can't Abigail plus Battle Rage. So I think I just get another Shadow. Also need more context on why you're against borderless cards now. What happened? Nothing really happened. It's just every time, like, I enjoy the looking at the cards when I'm not playing them, but the more I play them, the less I enjoy like everything going around while I'm looking at deck. For example, when I'm like playing modern and I'm shuffling through trying to find a like hallowed fountain, and all of my lands are kind of blending together in the same art style and like all bright, colorful. It's just a lot over and over again, if that makes sense. All right, I would just like to tone it down a bit and not have to think so much when I'm just fetching. I did get Gen Z over Stimmy syndrome. I just want to tone it down a tad or a lot. I want to be able to fetch up like a breeding pool or whatever and just immediately cut to breeding pool. Some of them are really good, but the lands especially have been a pain to keep up with. All right, mill. Don't really have much for mill. I feel like the Infinity lands are all different enough where it's fairly easy to tell. What do you think? Well, that's just the basics, though. Or are you talking about the shock lands? These they're not that different though than the other ones. Like these Ravnica remastered, what I've got now. But it's also like the fetches. Am I keeping this? Yes, I will. Because it might just traverse or might just turn on traverse. Tomato. Well, I guess if they mill half my library, I do get traverse online. A misunderstanding. Are you mostly referring to like being able to find a hollowed fountain? I'm not referring to like any specific trying to find. I'm referring to everything being so similar to everything else. And I just don't want to pick up my deck and shuffle and everything look the same. So like finding anything at any point becomes more of a chore than it should be. Just traverse up another Nethergoyf. Oh, did they mill? They milled all 4 of my Nethergoyfs in that. Rough. Get a big shadow online next turn, I guess. Too many similar art styles. Right. It's just just every time you pick up the deck, like 50 cards look the same as 50 other cards. And I just want less of that. I don't want to have to stop and think on every hand about evaluating what the hand actually is. Those RL watches look nice. I agree. Let's see. Got mine right here on my desk, actually. I love mine. All right, so opponent missed their 3rd land drop, but if they have any of their 3-mana mill spells, I'm kind of cooked. Show me a Hidetsugu 2nd right. Is that the skeleton? It is the skeleton. It's the all black skeleton. I guess I'm just going for Abigail here. Kind of figure they've got a fatal push, but my buddy who's a comp Titan player is very set in his ways of doing base copies of everything. I've never heard him say that was the reason, but he really enjoys the original arts the cards were intended for. Yeah, so like for years I did original arts on everything, and Frogtide was the first deck that I didn't do all original arts, that I like stepped out and went the full art route. And I've enjoyed it. Like, it's definitely not bad. I just really wish it was simplified a little bit. Like, I've enjoyed getting the signatures on stuff as well. But there are a bunch of cards where, like, between the full art and the signature, it looks more like an art piece than a functional card. Crypt Incursion. That's about to gain him 1 billion. 52. I guess I might as well just like get back a fetch and just start fetching and failing to find over and over to grow this moon shadow. Ooh, I do have a Teamer Battle Rage still. No. It was fun while it lasted. If Kitsune's Technique Mill becomes tier 1, we'll probably have to go back to the keeping an Emrakul in the board route. Mm, so just fetch. I've got to fetch at some point over the course of this match. So I guess if they have a archive trap, so be it. Not really point in attacking. Maybe I should have. It's probably a good bluff attack. If they had like a, or if I had a Street Wraith, I could blow out a block, and they've seen Street Wraith in my deck. So they do turn on Delirium for me, which is super kind of them. We will take the opportunity to get a couple extra card types for my Nethergoyf. Surgical extraction. Yeah. What's the kickback if you use the Aura Watch code? It's 10. Let me double check. It's like 10%, but there's also like a site wide percent off going on most of the time. And the code gives an additional on top of the site wide. So it's like if there's 10% going on right now, or I think right now it's like 40% off site wide, then it gives 40% off plus an additional percent for the code. But it varies. It's like there's a minimum, but if there's something else going on, then it can be a little bit less. But it, like I said, it does go in addition to what's going on in the site. Ran into 4 Solitude decks in a row last night and wanted to throw my laptop. Well, don't do that. Throwing laptops is bad. I feel like Mr. Mackey from South Park. Throwing your laptop is bad. Okay. So don't throw your laptop. Okay. But as far as my kickback for Aura, I definitely misread that. I don't get anything from Aura if you use the code. Um, right now, it's just an affiliate code. But if it gets to the point that enough sales go through using my affiliate code, then that gets upgraded. So if you're checking out watches, it's a good deal. The silver and blue one's calling my name. Are you talking about the ultra thin, the steel blue ultra thin? I said it. It's in the other room. Those are actually. Hold that thought. Whoops. Yeah, so the watches come in these like cool padded cases. Um, but the steel blue ultra thin is the second one that I've got, the black skeleton and the steel blue ultra thin. And that is absolutely my favorite. Really big fan. Have I thought about replacing FOMO? Yeah, it's definitely really nice for the price. And every time I've talked to Tyler, who's like the brand manager for Aura watches, uh, they've been really good about recognizing that they're like the entry level to nicer watches. They're not trying to make people pay 10 grand for a watch or anything like that. And I really appreciate that. So if you're like looking for something that looks good, good price, then I think they're very, very reasonable. I have thought about replacing FOMO, Mark, to answer your question, but I don't really know what I would replace it with. And FOMO has been very relevant. Like it, FOMO gets the extra attacks in very, very often, which is cool. George's dad. You get hands like this where you're just like, all right, well, fetch, shock, Thoughtseize on one, redraw off bobble, turn two, FOMO, ditch seal. Now Delirium's just online. So you're attacking with it turned on FOMO turn three, and if I get Shadow down on three, then setting up for like a big attack. Sold me, I bought one. Hell yeah. Like I bring mine to Magic tournaments all the time. I like to wear it casually. No chance I'm playing the rat or the shredder. What rat? Are you talking about the reanimate rat? I think a Nethergoyf here. Kind of don't hate Nethergoyf. Storm. I was wearing a sport coat at my RC. I'm not shy with that. That's also fair. I will say something I didn't know when I got mine that was like a really big upgrade point was the the original band is kind of small, but it comes with a couple extra uh, little band notches and the tool that you need to add the band notches onto it. And it's actually very, very easy to adjust that. All right, let's go FOMO. Am I ditching seal or am I just using sealed next? I guess I'm ditching seal. Could have also just ditched shadow. Shadow could be dead here. Resolve hits land. All right. So what I'm going to do here is play Goif. Go ahead and bobble them in case I draw into a like unholy heat and they play a Rel. But get my Goifs down, and the next turn I can play my Shadow, just let it die to grow both my Goifs. And then I've got lethal with Goif, FOMO, untap a Goif. They might go like Ruby Rit Grape Shot and kill my FOMO if they want to try to not die. Choose not to. Yeah, it bases the code off of what's going on site wide. So like right now, there's just 40% off site wide. So a lot of these that are normally in like the 200 range or 100, they do like these really cool flash sales from time to time. We get like some ridiculous discounts. And when that happens, the additional discount will get dropped down a little bit. So Traverse grows the Nether Goifs. I can get Shadow in the yard for free. So what do I want to get? Just like another FOMO. Oh, Traverse doesn't grow the Nether Goifs. That's okay. This does. Nice. I've got all these damping spheres to bring in and vexing baubles and whatnot. Magebane Lizard. Modern staple, patent pending. Let's drop a couple heats. Drop Tarfire. Drop a Traverse. Probably just drop both the Red and Sixes. Maybe just another Traverse. Actually, no, we'll drop another Seal. Keep the Traverse. Since Seal and Tarfire both don't answer Ral. Or I can just drop FOMO. Yeah, let's keep a Tarfire, drop a FOMO. We know Jund Shadow is peak. Well, we hope Jund Shadow is peak because I really want to register it at the Hunter Burton in a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks, next week. But I need to feel like the list is solid. Chronograph 001. Let's check that one out. What do you think? Are we keeping or throwing back? Oh, I do like the chronographs. You get the steel silver. Ooh, that one is clean. Mark coming in with a gifted sub. We got Julius3232. Welcome to the subscribers. Enjoy access to all of our sweet custom emotes. Yeah, emotes. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. I really want to keep this. I'm going to keep it for science. We're on the draw, double Wraith. We got a bauble. We can kind of afford to miss our first land drop. Kind of. But we're just not going to. We're going to hit the land. It's going to be great. Come on. Come on, land. Told you. It's easy. It's not quite the land we wanted, but we'll be fine. Ral Monsoon Mage. Would you play Torpor Orb? Torpor Orb seems a little slow for what you're wanting. I'd probably just play Dreams of Steel and Oil before I played Torpor Orb. All right. Let's find a black source. Come on, deck. Never in doubt. Haters in shambles. All right, what should I play here? Am I just playing Damping Sphere? I'm usually like a little bit lower on Mage Bane than Damping Sphere because if opponent just goes like Ritual, Grape Shot the Lizard or something, then they can still combo off. Or like Spell, Ritual, Grape Shot the Lizard. Um, they can still go off from there, but Damping Sphere's like, you can't go off. Like, what you got is what you got. Unless they Manamorphose Prismatic Ending. Kind of suck here. Yeah, they have Prismatic Ending. All right. Well. You have Manamorphose, Pending, and go off. That's rough. Nope. So we're on a coin flip to go off. No go off. All right. Show me another land. Probably just have to play the Lizard regardless, but I'd really like to go Thoughtseize into Lizard. All right. A bunch of damage off the lizard. A little bit surprised they chose to flip the Ral. It's a wear tear. All right, so we can just go attack Ral. Yeah, attack Ral, Shadow, FOMO. So if they minus Ral, it just dies. Swamp, Shadow, FOMO. Just discard one of these Thought Seizes because that gets Delirium online. See, who needs lands in your opener to have a snap keep? Lands are overrated. Can't flood out if you don't play lands. Azax. So back to back Storm, probably. Let's get down Nethergoyf. You're begging for a land every turn, if I do recall. It sounds like fake news to me. I don't recall such a thing ever occurring. Let's take a ritual. Get down a shadow. Go. That is fine. Rin's Resolve finds Wish. Another Rin's Resolve. And that's just lethal. Abigail's Shadow. Attack for 16. Pow! Pow! What happened? Weird. Nice turn 3. Nice turn 3 indeed. Can't remember like how I wanted to. I'm just gonna keep pick your poison. Like adjusting sideboarding mid league. It's a little bit awkward. I need another fetch land, but I do have a bauble. I believe I would like to take a Ral Monsoon Mage. Not a mana reducer. Ral is indeed 3 toughness. Well, we gambled a little bit. Probably just have to play Shadow next turn as a pump spell for these Moon Shadows. Unless we draw fetch. That is a fetch. Could be really greedy and traverse for a Street Wraith to try to Street Wraith cycle into a fetch land. Which I would not advise doing if you don't absolutely have to, but it is good to know that the line exists. There's Ral. There's a glimpse. Well, now that traverse for a Street Wraith line looks a lot better. Or no, we're just traversing for Magebane, right? Let's attack first. They've used Desperate Glimpse. Did I see double Reckless? No, I saw double. That's game 1. Game 2. No, I just saw 1. They've cast, so Wish, 2 unknowns. So they could very easily like wish for an answer to Magebane. Fetch land. Fetch land traverse. Fetch land traverse. Fetch land traverse. That do anything? I really want to try to kill them right here if I can. Because I know their last card is Wish. It does grow the moon shadows. It's just kind of, do I need to keep this Vexing Bauble around in case of something? Probably not. They might be forced to block, yeah, some amount of this in case of like Tar Fire for lethal or something, which they've seen. I'm going to choose to believe they don't have a Wrath effect in their board. All right, so you get like Wish, one more spell, and that's it. All right. Mill Storm Storm. That's a heck of a league to kick off with Jun Shadow. Or kick off with a 3-0 out of Jun Shadow. I feel like most of the time, if somebody, or if you said to somebody, oh, my league with Jun Shadow started off Mill Storm Storm, the response would be, all right, so after your 0-3 drop, what did you do after that? Nah, fam. We Mage Bane lizarding people. Daybreak action. And then this is where the deck falls apart. Like, this unkeepable pile of Magic the Gathering cards. I could just throw back the Swamp here. Swamp doesn't help cast Wrenn and 6. And I can always traverse for second land. Is this triple Storm? Three Storm in a row. With the medallion on top. Well, we are what the kids would call cooked. Taking Ral doesn't really matter because they're going to have the mana regardless. They're going to have the reducer regardless. So I'd rather take something over here. Limp sees the most cards. Yep. Carry on. They got Ritual, Ren's Resolve, or they use, yeah, they use Ren's Resolve. So Ritual, Wish with another mana reducer. If they've got a Past in Flames in the yard, this is 5, 4, 1. Yeah. If they got a Past in Flames in the sideboard, they can just go second Ritual, go up to 5 mana floating, 2 for Wish, get Past in Flames, Ritual, Ren's Resolve. What's with all the Caleb Scherer fanboys? And I used to watch Caleb Scherer streams all the time. Pre-crash out Caleb Scherer. I don't I don't think they should be doing this right now. I think they should have just been going for uh Wish. If they didn't have a Past in Flames in the sideboard, then this makes more sense. But if they had the Past in Flames in the board, I think they should have just gone for the Wish Past in Flames line, built up enough spells to play Ral and immediately start trying to flip it. Instead of playing the coin flip game. But I believe they're going to get there fine. Played versus him many times in St. Louis and Kansas City and SCG events. I never played against, or I played against him online a reasonable amount. Never played against him in paper. All right, so yeah, they did have the sideboard piff. I'll make them do the thing because uh, 3, yeah, they got plenty. 50 billion card sideboard against Storm. I'm like literally forgetting what I'm sideboarding out against Storm from match to match. Probably write stuff down. Yeah, I think when I first started getting into streaming, Caleb Shearer sent me like one of the biggest raids I'd ever had by a wide margin because I played Storm one day on stream and he sent a raid of like 400 people over, and I was like, oh my god. I like to think he's hanging out at his home somewhere just with his cats goldfishing Ruby Storm. Yeah, we're keeping this. Got a surveil plus some draws to hit a land. Oh. Oh. Well, this probably couldn't have started much worse for us. So that's cool. Some brawling gifts. Okay. That's good for me. Think that means I'm just jamming Lizard. I can go jam Lizard this turn. Next turn, Thoughtseize, take 3, traverse for a shadow, take 2 more, so 5, play shadow. I gotta keep an eye on my life total. I guess I'm not keeping an eye on my life total because I have to get green anyway. So we'll get Overgrown Tomb, Lizard, go. Have you seen those little like lizard toys? They're in like the TikTok videos, little lizard toys that say lizard over and over again when you like hit them. Need to get one of those just for right now. It's like lizard, 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 lizard. Does Vexing Bobble change anything? Probably not. Guess we can decide after Thoughtseize. Well, that's the plan: is traverse for shadow and then have maybe battle rage next turn. But I'm just seeing if there's any reason I need to jam the Vexing Bauble this turn. I think if I just take the Ral, then I'm kind of okay-ish. Next turn, I can go Vexing Bubble, take 1, go to 7, Teamer Battle Rage, take 2, go to 5, Shadows an 8/8, attack for 16, 17 off the Lizard. It's lethal. So my hope would be that opponent doesn't think I can kill them this turn and just kind of takes a turn off to play like Artist Talent or Rin's Resolve looking for lands or something. Do I have the Mox field updated? Yes, I do. Sweet. All right, now you just pass back and don't do anything. Fair enough. Lizard, lizard. Is there anything I'm changing up going to game 3? I'm on the draw. Don't have to worry about Gemstone Caverns on the draw. What we got? Oh, can work with this. Thoughtseize into Damping Sphere. With hands like this, you want to use your Nurturing Peatland first, because the damage off of this Peatland adds up to be able to get the Shadow online. But if you fetch and shock on turn 1 and Thoughtseize, you're down to 15. Then you play Nurturing Peatland on 2, tap once, you're down to 14. Next turn, tap, you're down to 13. But if you're Nurturing Peatland on 1 and Thoughtseize, you're down to 17. Next turn, fetch, shock, and Nurturing Peatland, you're down to 13. And you get to compile or compound that 1 damage instead of waiting to the last moment. It's like you just don't take as much initially, but the trade-off is you get more as the game goes on. Now, if I had another fetch land in hand, I'd be going for that instead and wouldn't be worried about the compiling damage. But seeing as how I don't currently have a fetch land in hand, work with what we got. Thundering Falls. Thundering Falls would lead me to believe that they have Prismatic Ending in their 75. And I, of course, hope they do not see one. don't think they drew the pending. I think it's just like a surveil for the sake of surveilling. Like they could have. All right. I am going to do what? Well, I can't traverse this turn because I would have to cast both the Unholy Heat and the Mishra's Bauble, and I can't do all that through the Damping Sphere. So I think my play is heat a token, get down Shadow. Next turn, Mishra's Bauble, traverse. See where I go from there. I think I need to traverse for a lizard. I don't think traversing for Abigail's doing anything for me. I think I want the second piece of insulation. No! Well, I guess this means I can go for the lizard. Which I would say definitely looks like the better choice right now. Don't want that. Am I going for damage or am I going for the better draw? Shadow's already a 5/5. So I think I'm going for the draw. If I can find another traverse. You're right, it does reset the draw. It's fine. It's fine. If I can find another traverse or an Abigail, I do just have a lethal shadow in the air. But you're right that I should have traversed first. I was kind of thinking about I wanted to attack first and not give them the information on traverse before I attacked. That was kind of my big hold up. We just have to hope that this second piece of Storm Hate's good enough. Well, 2 rituals, a Ral, 2 unknowns. The Ral is an exile from the Reckless Impulse. So they've got 2 rituals in hand that I know about They have 4 cards total, so 2 unknowns, and then a Ral that can be cast from exile. Using their spawn mana. Why would they use their spawn mana? Unless they're planning on trying to go for something here. All right. Just the immediate Ral flip. Is Lizard better than the 2/2 first strike chick? I'm assuming yes. Uh, if you are meaning like in general, I think so. I think the 1/4 body is really tough to deal with. If you're talking about against Storm specifically, I would still say yes because of Magebane compounding, where other answers like don't compound. It's just an empty the warrens for a bunch of goblins. It is. Ha. Oh boy. What are my options? What happens if I play Moon Shadow and block? I can block 3 goblins, but I just die to the Ral minus. So that doesn't do anything for me. If I, same thing, if I cast Street Wraith, I go down to 7, they get through for lethal. So I think this is going to require me finding Temur Battle Rage or Traverse. Flashback Goyf Moonshadow still has me die to the Ral because I would play Moonshadow Flashback Goyf. I have 4 blockers. I take 6 here, 7, 8 off the Ral minus. So I'm just dead on board with that. All right. Same thing. I can't imagine there's any world where they put 4 blockers on the Magebane Lizard, but dang. Yep. Dang it. Those were doing anything for us. So we're a mile before we found anything relevant. Even when we got like 7 cards against Storm. Still rough. Got by Ral minus indeed. Wish I had Luris in the board. Wonder if we can just cut all the basics. Just say, all right, I'm not beating Blood Moon anyway. Any thoughts about Super Shredder? Not necessarily in this deck, but as a card in Modern. It's got some interesting text on it. So, like, for example, it doesn't have to be your permanent that leaves, and I think that gets underestimated. So, like, opponent cracking a fetch, it gets a counter. So there's a lot of games where you can drop it on turn 2, especially on the play, and it's got a good chance of growing pretty good. It's tough to say in Modern because a lot of times it just doesn't really matter like how big a creature is. If it's not doing anything right away, it's just not good enough. Death Shadow being like the quintessential example of that. Saw a game from Spike earlier today. Shredder got to an 8-8. It's in that same realm as like um, Moon Shadow and Stalactite Stalker, where you play it on curve on the play and it looks really, really good. But then the next game you draw it too late and it looks awful, and or your first one gets answered and the second one's just kind of dead. Amulet Titan. Agree, but it triggering on opponent stuff seems to add up quicker than Moon Shadow, for example. Again, like if you have a turn 2 on the play and your opponent has to play into it, yeah, it's a lot better. But as soon as you're like on the draw and your opponent doesn't have to play into it, or you draw that second one a little too late, it just starts getting worse and worse. And I don't know if that's enough to overcome that. Here's a shadow. If I can find like a Mishra's Bauble next turn, I can traverse for an Abigail, just try to make this a 2-turn clock. I assume they're just going to play Analyst. That also lets me get Abigail if I want. Also, just get another shadow. Is that better? Yeah, just do that. Definitely good and bad to this line. Like, I could have attacked pre-combat and then second turn traverse for the Abigail and have a lethal attacker. That's what I should have done. I should have attacked for 7 and then traverse second main phase for the Abigail, or just pass the turn and like traverse next turn. Because now it's a little bit awkward if they make a blocker, because I might not have a lethal attack. Yeah, that was just like bad all around. Now I need to hit a fetch land off the top. Fetch land or removal spell. Which that is not. Show me a street wraith. I punted this game. Punted this game so bad. Well, fair enough. I guess in the face of Arboreal Grazer, it wasn't a punt because they would have had that anyway to block the shadow. So, less punt. Man, they ripped the nuts. Their draws were second Amulet, Summoner's Pact, Green Sun Zenith, Lotus Field. They had no draw steps or no additional draws. That's Amulet players for you, isn't it? I'll make them go through it in case they just like slip up and don't grab a haste land at some point. Spoke too soon. All right. Well, so we punted but didn't really punt, and didn't matter. On the fence about vexing bobble. Not sure if I want it or not. Still want to change out Charmaw. Feels always one turn too slow. It's usually not if you follow, or if it's like Charmaw after some sort of disruption. But like the only options you're going to have that kind of do the same thing are going to give your opponent a card, like give them a replacement land or something, as far as cheaper options go. So do I want FOMO? Yeah, I'll take that. Yep. Ways off of that mattering. Rather just have Delirium online. Something like Pick Your Poison would be pretty good. Not a Pick Your Poison. I didn't expect to see Jun Shadow when I saw the title Peaks or Cheeks. I don't know why you wouldn't think Jun Shadow when you saw that. It's like the quintessential Jun Shadow title. Discard Overgrown Tomb. All right, well, maybe if Magus next turn can slow things down a little bit. I've seen some Amulet lists playing like Vampire's Vengeance. If opponents playing that, we're kind of cooked. They could have Dismember. Ooh, now we got to start thinking. Let's attack first, see if they want to do anything about this FOMO or not. Bingo. And I'm going to fetch and shock here in case I draw a shadow. You have second copy of Dismember. Amulet players, who hurt y'all? uh what is this? What am I laying witness to? I'm gonna die to just construct. Double dismember 5 lands in an amulet. Is that what it was? Double dismember 6 lands, something like that. All right, this has to hit me another creature, another 1-mana creature or removal spell. Does not do it. Did I bring in meltdowns? I did not. I foolishly hoped that my Thoughtseize Teamer or Thoughtseize FOMO Magus of the Moon would have some amount of impact. Spoiler, it did not. Attack. Attack, you coward. I'm just fetching here. Guess. I feel like it doesn't really matter. So we charm all down the mirror pool. Or do I charm all down the battlements? Oh, wait, I can hit anything. I can just charm all down the woodlands. Yeah. I just forgot I could kill anything. And then we are attacking with the Nethergoyf because if our opponent says no blocks, we kill them. If they block, it shrinks the tokens. We can always Team or Battle Rage our Nethergoyf to kill both the tokens. All right, so we're gonna cycle Street Wraith first in case I hit something I would rather do than Battle Rage. First strike damage, kill a token, 2 to the other one. Deal damage over to you. Here's a Peatland, go. Don't do it to me. They hit the Titan. Get out of here. Get straight out of here. Last time we listened to ZKG. Hit the haste land. All right. Well, that was the first league we've had with Jun Shadow that we didn't get at least a 4-1. So I'll take the 3-2. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Rin was okay. FOMO was reasonable. Traverse was good. It's hard to judge a lot of stuff because we just saw a bunch of matchups where like our interaction didn't matter. Oh, but Seal and Tarfire looked bad. Both of these being 2 damage instead of 3 really mattered. Couldn't kill the 1-mana crab, couldn't kill Ral, couldn't kill Arboreal Grazer or Aftermath Analyst. So literally all 5 matches dealing 2 instead of 3 came up.